Yeah, as you can see now the pillars are moving, and we can move the bird through the pillars. Hello guys, this is the 5th tutorial of the Unity Flappy Bird game tutorial series. So in the previous tutorial I have done some coding, and with those codes I could make the bird move, and when you tap on the screen the bird will go up, and I have done the actions. So I have done those things. I will show you what I have done. You can actually tap on the screen, and according to the taps the bird will start to go up, and after that bird will start to fall down. So that's what I done in the previous video. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how we can manage the pillars. So the pillars should work like this. The pillars should spawn from time to time, and it should spawn from somewhere like this, and then it should move towards this way. So it should move from right to left, and after it went out the screen, then we have to destroy the pillars. So that's what we are going to do with this tutorial. And again, one more thing, the pillars, the gap of those two pillars should be random. It should be change from pillars to pillars. So one set of pillar will have a gap like this, and another pillar will have a gap like this, and some of the pillar will start from here and some pillar will start from here. So we have to manage that behavior using the codes. Okay, let's see how we can do that. Alright, first of all I will prepare these pillars into a single object. So I will make some changes. I will create a new object. Let's call pillar, and this is the upper pillar and this is the bottom pillar. I will name this as top, and this will be our bottom pillar. I will move these two objects into the pillar object, and I will reset the positions of the pillar object to be 0. Okay, and then I will move this top pillar. Compared to the parent object, I will make the x to 0, and I will make the z to 0 as well, and in the bottom also x will be 0, z will be 0. So only we have to change is the y position. That way we can change the pillar position like this, also this pillar also, and we have to sort of think of a range, from which range from which position to which position the pillar can be pillar's y position can be changed. So let's say the bottom pillar should have the minimum height of this, and I can say, let's say, round it up to -6, and the maximum the pillar can go, let's say somewhere around this. Let's reduce it to somewhere around this maybe. Alright, -3. So after we done coding, we can change this value in order to get the better result, but for now let's go with these values. So the minimum will be -6 and the maximum will be -3. So that is how the bottom pillar should behave. And the top pillar, we can decide the y value of the top pillar based on the bottom pillar. Alright, okay, so let's create a script first. I will first create a script called pillar. Alright, now we have to somehow spawn this pillar in the game when we start the game. So we shouldn't be creating this object in the hierarchy in the development mode. So what I can do, I can make this pillar as a prefab. Alright, so before even before I'm creating converting this pillar into a prefab, I will set the starting position of the pillar. So any of the pillars should be starting from somewhere like this. I mean, it shouldn't be starting from the middle of the screen. So any of the pillars should be starting from a position like this. I would say that position is, let's say 3 would fine, but I'm not sure how this will work on some of the smaller size of devices. So let's say 3.5 maybe. Okay, so every pillars should start from should start from the x position of 3.5, and it should end from the minus 3.5. Okay, so I will now make this object a prefab. So prefab is something like this. We can make any object a prefab. A prefab is a copy of an object. So using that prefab, so prefab is it's like a blueprint of an object. We can use the blueprint, or we can use the prefab to create as many as objects we want in the game. Alright, so prefab is the blueprint. So I'm going to make this a prefab. I will create a new folder, let's say prefabs, so I can store in all the prefabs that I'm using in this game in this folder. There can be more prefabs, more than this. Alright, now I have the pillar prefab. Once you make it a prefab, it will turn blue like this. I will now delete this from here. Alright, now these pillars should spawn through the code. So I will first I will go into the prefab, then I will drag the newly created script called pillar into this object like this. Alright, first let's code our behavior to make the pillar, I mean so we have to like change the y position of the bottom pillar. So let's do that first. So in the pillar code, I will create some variables like the max y is -3 and the min y is -6. So the bottom pillar should be positioned in between these two y values. Alright, now I will do something like this. So there should be a way to access both pillars separately through the code. So I will create another two objects, public game object, top and bottom. Alright, so through the top variable we can access the top pillar, and we can access the bottom pillar through the bottom variable. So I will now assign those pillars into the code references. So this is the top and this is the bottom. Alright, now I will say something like that. I will create a new function called public void set pillars. So in this function I will write the relevant code to set the positions of the pillars. So the bottom pillar dot transform dot position new vector 3 x and z. We are okay with x and z. X should be 0 and the z should be 0. There is no doubt in that. What we have to change is y. So y should be changed. We can give some value to the y in between these two values. Alright, so what we can say, let's create another variable called float y, or let's say bot y equals random dot range, and the minimum value is -6 float, maximum value is -3 float. if you are not going to put this F indication, this will be an integer. That means it will give us some integer values it will give us a random integer value between these two values. So it is not going to give us any float value, so we have to make these two values floats. That's how we can get some random float values. So I will say bot y like this. Hold on. Alright, like this. And based on this value, we can determine the y position of the top pillar. Okay, it's like this. I will give you an example. I will drag this pillar into here. Okay, so the y position of this will be 0 always. Okay, let's say the bottom pillar is somewhere in here. Let's say it's in -4. Alright, if the bottom pillar's y value is -4, then the y position of the top pillar should be greater than -4 no matter what. Otherwise the top pillar will go down like this. Alright, so we have to determine the y value of the top pillar based on the bottom the y position of the bottom pillar. Alright, and we have to sort of think about the gap in between two pillars. So the gap should be also random, should be a random value. So I will do something like this. To determine the position of the top pillar, I will create another variable called float gap equal random dot range. So right now I don't have any idea what can I choose as the minimum and maximum values. I will choose something like this for now. Let's say 1f and 4f. So first I will give something like this, and then I will do the necessary changes to change the y value of the top dot transform dot position equal 0 bot y plus gap. Alright, so this is the code, but we have to change these two values to get the best result. So okay, I think I have forgotten to add these values. Actually this should be min y, this should be max y, like this. Alright, let's try to run this application now and see how the pillars are behaving. I will run this. Okay, we are not seeing any of the changes on the pillars. Okay, I haven't called this function. Let me call this function in the start function. Now let's try it out. Okay, now you can see the pillars are changing, but the top pillar is actually overlapping with the bottom pillar. Because I think we haven't given the proper y position for the top pillar. Alright, let's see. The bottom pillar's y position is -4.6 and the top pillar's y position is -2.19. Let's try to mimic. It is supposed to be in a place like this. Alright, with the gap we have given, the y position should be like this. Okay, now let's try to compare the y values. The bottom is -4.6, the top is like about 5.4. Alright, almost more than 10 points. It's more than 10 times 10 points compared to the y position of the bottom pillar. Alright, so I guess the gap should be more than this. Okay, let's start with 10 and let's see something like this. Alright, Now let's see. I will save this. Alright, now we can see a fair gap in between the both fillers. Let's try to run this again. Again, we can see a pretty fair gap, and the Y position of the bottom pillar has been already been changed compared to the pillar that we saw in last time. Another thing I think you may have noticed that the exposition of the pillars also seems to be changed. Like I will run this again. So we haven't changed the exposition of the parent pillar object, neither we haven't changed the exposition of these child objects. Okay, but it seems that both the child objects X is changing. I think it because we have given the position. I think instead of this we should be given local position, because it should be we have to take the local position compared to the parent object. Okay, we can't give the position, so the position will indicate the position of the world, local position will indicate the position compared to the parent object. Alright, so let's try again. Alright, now the X position is not changing anymore, only the Y position. Okay, now I think we are good to go. So this is not the final output we should see. In the final output the pillars should be spawned. So let's now try to do the coding for this spawn. Alright, I will use the let me see, I will use the game controller script to handle the spawn of the pillars. So I will go to the game controller script and I will create a reference for the pillars like this. Then I can drag the pillar prefabs into that reference. So let's go to the controller and let's grab our pillar from the file architecture, file structure. Okay, so you have to get it from here, not this object, because we don't need this anymore. We can delete this like this. Alright, now the control have the reference to the pillar object. Using that reference we can initiate an object. So it will be like this. First I will create a function public void spawn pillar. So there should be a frequent when it comes to spawning pillar. The spawn can be the pillar can be spawned in every 1 second, or in every 2 seconds, or on every 3 seconds. So that 1, 2, 3 seconds can be changed based on the speed of the pillar. Alright, it's like this. When we play the game for about, let's say, after 5 minutes, the pillar will start to spawn more speedily, because the pillars will come in speed towards us. Because of that we have to spawn the pillars faster, rather compared to the speed that we have used to spawn the pillars when the game starts. Okay, alright, first I will create some references. I will create a variable called public let's say int frequent. So let's say the frequent is 100. That means every 100 frames, once per 100 frames we should spawn a pillar. 100 frames means it's about 1.7 or 6 seconds. Okay, it's more than 1 second but less than 2 seconds. Alright, so let's spawn a pillar, and so to spawn a pillar we should use object dot instantiate function, and we can simply give pillar. Later we can modify this statement by adding some more parameter. I mean, we can add some more, we can pass more values into this function. Like if you want to make create the pillars inside the parent object, we can pass that object. We'll modify those things later, but for now this is how we are going to initiate a pillar. And this function will should be executed in every 100 frames. So we'll keep a record about the frame. So I would say frame equals 0 if fr equals frequent. That means fr equals 100, then we are going to spawn a pillar. We can increment the fr like this, so in every frame the fr will be started to increment by 1. After 100 frames fr will become 100. That means fr is equal to frequent. Again, at the same time we are going to spawn a pillar. Alright, so this is the mechanism. After it's been spawned, we can then make the fr 0 again. That way the process will continue to execute as a loop. Alright, and again I think we have to do some codes to move the pillar. So the pillar should go from right to left, like I said before. So to make the pillars move, I will go to the pillar code. So in order to make the pillars move, we should have some kind of speed. So I would say speed equal, let's say 5 maybe. We can change this value. So to make the pillars move, I would say transform dot position. So in this time we are using position because we are going to change the position of the parent object. So parent is in the world, so that's why we are giving the position. So position should be vector 3 dot left. Actually we should move this to left by time dot delta time by speed. Alright, so at the same time we should integrate a way to destroy the object. So once the pillar hits the 3.5 minus 3.5 on the x-axis, the pillar should be destroyed. I will show you guys again what I'm talking about. Let me grab a pillar. So once I will grab the pillar into the hierarchy, so you will see how we can see the output once the pillar is spawned. Alright, when I drag the pillar into the hierarchy, it is in the 3.5. so the pillar should be destroyed after it hits the minus 3.5. okay, so we can check it like this: transform dot position dot x is less than 3.5, actually minus 3.5, then we have to destroy this object. I would say destroy immediate, I can say game object. Alright, like this. Okay, I think we are good to go. We can change the speed once we saw the result. If we are okay with the result, we can keep it like that. Okay, let's see the output. Alright, let's let the bird go away. Okay, it seems all the pillars are spawning at the center. Okay, let's see the issue here. Let's first go to the game controller. We have initiated the pillar. Let's go to the pillar script. Okay, I think I have found the issue. The issue is in here. We have just assigned the position to be this value. I mean, this is not how we have to assign the position so the pillar can move. We have to make this increment. Okay, so the position should be changed as the according to the time. So let's try this out. Let's try to run this. Okay, now the pillars will start to move from 3.5 and it will destroy at the point of minus 3.5. Okay, and as you can see now, the gap also will be different from pillars to pillars. You can see the height of the bottom pillar is, we can see the real difference, but the gap we can't really see the difference. I mean, we can work on that, but overall I think we have done with the pillar movement. I mean, let's try to play this game now. I mean, we haven't like really integrated the collision here, so the bird can actually go through the wall pillars. So we'll worry about that in the upcoming tutorials. Let's try to play the game. Okay, it is actually decent in this stage. I think gap is also fine. Or we can maybe reduce the maximum value of the gap, so we can reduce it to like let's say 11. That way we can make this game more challenging. So I mean, based on this value, the gap will be changed. So the minimum gap that can have is 10, the maximum value is 1. So we can see a difference of gap in between these two values. So let's try to run this again. Again, if you think the gap is too much, you can play around those values in order to get the gap that you want to get. But yeah, I think this will also fine. Yeah, as you can see now, the pillars are moving and we can move the bird through the pillars, but still we haven't done with the collision, because as you can see, bird can go through the pillars. So alright, I will stop this tutorial from this point. In the next tutorial, we'll try to do the collision in between the bird and the pillar, and we'll also at the same time we'll try to move the flow according to the pillar, based on the speed of the pillar. Yeah, so those are the things that I'm going to do on the next tutorial onwards. Yeah, I will see you on the next tutorial. Have a great day.